Hey guys, Social Communications. Now that I talked about my favorite werewolf movies, which you tell was a little bit harder for me to do because I usually don't do a lot of videos talking about, oh, my favorite movies. I don't know. It's harder to talk about things you genuinely, really, truly, really like because there's only so much you can say about how much, I really like this movie. And it's also, it's a little bit more fun to talk about bad movies. And it's also a lot easier to, talk about bad movies because truly bad movies just have so many flaws that they're just easily pointed out and make it, for a very, I guess, enjoyable sort of experience for the reviewer. Seriously, you haven't lived, folks. Until you rant on a good, shitty movie, it feels good. And if you can make people laugh in the process, that's good as well. But anyway, welcome to my random, and completely in no order, list of my least favorite werewolf movies. And I thought I'd start off with the one that I just reviewed, the shittiest one I reviewed recently, Wolfen. This piece of shit scumbag, fucking gutter trash spewing, ball breaking, duck fucking, cocks tease of a fucking movie. Yeah, I hate Wolfen. I know it's a strong word. I hate it. 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 It sucks. It's not even a werewolf movie. It's like in werewolf. It's on this list of werewolf movies on this werewolf movie website. It's not even a werewolf movie. It's about shape-shifting mystical Indians who turn into wolves. And it's not, unless I don't count Edward James almost his naked ass running around in a park with his dick flopping around, howling at the moon, a werewolf. If that's what a werewolf is, man, count me out. That's an even worse curse than you could possibly get. Man, getting hairy and shit is bad, and turning into a wolf is bad, but running around naked, howling at the moon with your dick flopping around, that's even worse. That's a curse for you. It's a curse just sitting through fucking Wolfen. All Wolfen that makes me do is curse. Seriously, somebody could just whisper Wolfen. I'm just in a public place. I'm at the thrift store looking for some movies, whatever. Then I hear in the corner of my ear someone just says Wolfen. I'd be like, what the fuck? Fuck that movie. Wolfen sucks. Just elicit just an absolute angry reaction every time I hear the word Wolfen or I see Wolfen. Anything Wolfen related will totally put me into a frenzy. I will not be able to even look at my poster that I have without resisting the urge to tear it into pieces. So, yeah. Wolfen, there's so many things wrong with it. It's pacing, it's super slow, it's boring, it's just absolutely a chore to sit through. It's not without its merits. I really like the wolf vision, the cinematography. The wolf vision is cool. It's shot well, and it's exciting, and it's cool looking. It's like a precursor to Predator, the heat vision. But that doesn't save the movie. It really would have helped the film. The film would have been helped a lot if Dustin Hoffman really was the lead. Because Albert Finney sucks a bag of dicks in this movie. He sucks cocks and balls, like I said before in the rant, no offense to the man personally, but man, did he blow hard. He sucked harder than a Hoover in this movie. So, I just thought because he was bored, he was sleepwalking throughout the whole movie. I kept wanting to reach my hand into the screen and just slap him in the fucking face. Wake up, Albert! What the fuck? Come on, man! A can of Prince Albert has more fucking personality than you do in this movie. Man, you could replace Albert Finney's performance with a wall with the name Albert Finney written on it, and it would deliver the same performance as Albert Finney did, with the same lack of personality. That's how lackluster and lame and shitty he was in this movie. So, and then, the film, sort of interesting idea with the shape-shifting stuff, but it doesn't make any fucking sense. Then you have, embarrassing lines of dialogue for Edward James Olmos. He already's embarrassed enough running around naked howling at the moon, but he has lines like, I fuck like Like I swim like a fish and I fuck like a bunny. You're like, fuck like a bunny? Like a bunny rabbit? What? What is this, fucking Easter over here? What? You gonna fuck the Easter bunny next? Eddie? Come on, man. Just no. And just stupid shit. The fucking environmental fucking bullshit. Cockamamie. Shitty ass ending. Like, oh, we need to learn to live with these wolves. What? We don't need to learn to live with these crazy ass Indian shapeshifters who are killing people and eating people's hearts out and shit. Live with them. Get a fucking shotgun or get some hunters together to get some private justice and blow their damn heads off. I don't really care. Don't give me this environmental message crap. What are you, fucking Avatar? Anyway, yeah, you can tell I don't like Wolfen. If you like it, that's cool. I don't. I think Wolfen is an absolute piece of shit. The tagline's like, oh, it'll tear the scream out of your throat. Oh, yeah, no, just tear your soul apart. That's what it's going to do, because it's such a soulless, boring movie. Anyway, that's my views on Wolfen. Piece of shit, sucks ass. So anyway, another film another movie from the 80s, another werewolf movie that I reviewed before ranted on, is Monster Dog, which is also known as Leviathan, and which is its foreign title or whatever. God damn, this movie blows. This is a movie that even Alice Cooper can't save. I mean, this was definitely one of the worst films I watched for heavy metal horror. And I haven't even finished heavy metal horror. For those of you who know about my heavy metal horror series on here, there was a lot of fucking shitty ass movies I watched in that series. This is like one of the worst. Because you have Alice Cooper, who I liked him in little bit roles in Prince of Darkness and so forth. He has nothing to do here. It just seems like he just did this movie on a whim. He was on vacation somewhere in Europe and decided, fuck it, I'll just do a movie. Is there anybody who wants to do a movie? Oh, you want to do a movie? Okay, let's go do a movie. Let's get it done. Let's get it over with. And totally result of it. It's just this piece of shit. The cover art is the best thing about the movie. And the best, I guess, the music video segments. With, Alice Cooper singing in, like, music videos. And you can watch those on YouTube. So do yourself a favor. Don't watch the rest of Monster Dog. It's not worth your time. It's not worth the rapage of your eyeballs that it's going to cause. So just watch the music videos on YouTube. Trust me, you'll be saving yourself a lot of pain and misery. So yeah, Monster Dog sucked ass. Another film from the heavy metal horror series that I remember that's also a werewolf movie that sucked was Lone Wolf, which was released in 1989. It's like a heavy metal horror film that I don't even remember. I don't even remember the film. It is forgettable as all hell, boring, just a shit fest. The only thing I really remember is that a werewolf rips some dude's heart out. That's it. That's the only thing that fucking comes to mind. Might as well just rip my own heart. I'd rather rip my own heart out of my own fucking chest than sit through that again. That was just painful. It was just pain. Just bad. Just beyond bad, beyond awful, and just an absolute waste of my time. And it will be a waste of yours, too, if you even think that for 1 second, oh, Lone Wolf, I'm going to check that with the cool cover art. No. There's one thing you need to learn, folks. If you're a VHS collector, or if you're people who are going around looking for movies, do not buy into the VHS cover art, or the DVD cover art, because it will fucking lie to you. It will lie to you. It'll be like, oh, look at this cool thing. Like Wolfen. Look at this cool wolf. Oh, it's not in the fucking movie. Just because the cover art looks cool doesn't mean the movie's going to be cool. It doesn't mean the movie's going to be good. But I'm just saying. I mean, for a lot of people already know that. But for those of you who don't, consider yourself warned. Another film that comes on the top of my head when I think about bad werewolf movies, one of the worst werewolf films I have ever seen, Werewolf. 1996 film, also known as Arizona Werewolf. It's a movie that was actually riffed on by Mystery Science Theater 3000. You know your movie's shit when the Satellite of Love is willing to rip it to shreds. I mean, they did it rightfully so. And even with the Mystery Science Theater 3000 commentary, it was still a hard sit. This movie is awful. some of the worst special effects I've seen in a werewolf movie. Shitty if you thought the morphing scenes of Bad Moon were bad, watch Werewolf. They're 10 times worse. It's a total fucking cock and ball show. Just awful. So yeah, Werewolf, Arizona Werewolf, which is fucking stupid ass title, is just one of the worst, if not the worst werewolf movie ever made. Another bad werewolf movie I think of is American Werewolf in Paris. It was a total fucking piece of shit. It was an insult to the first film. It wasn't funny. It was about as funny as, me getting, fucking... I'm trying to think of I can't even think of anything to compare it to, because it was that unfunny. Like, what am I going to compare it to? Like, it's about as funny as fucking Fatty Arbuckle's dead ass. I mean, that's not really funny. So that's what I'm saying. This movie isn't funny either. It's a fucking piece of shit. With some of the worst CGI I've ever seen, and it's just and also it's just a shitty sequel. It's totally unneeded. It has barely no connection to the first film. The fact that it has the title American Werewolf in front of it pisses me off, because it doesn't deserve it. And yeah, just a fucking shitfest. Go watch my rant of that and want to hear more of my issues on that movie. Fucking bungee jumping off the fucking Statue of Liberty at the end of the movie. That should be me. Bungee jumping off a fucking bridge to my fucking doom if I ever consider sitting through that again. So, yeah, I don't care for American Werewolf in Paris. So, anyway, another one that comes to mind and speaking of shitty CGI werewolves, Cursed. Wes Craven's Cursed with Christina Ricci. Like, man, the CGI werewolves in that give the crappy ass CGI werewolves in American Werewolf in Paris a run for their money. I mean, they are that fucking awful looking. They're terrible. Not believable in the slightest. They're just laughable pieces of shit. They're like laughable walking hairy turds. Just horrible. Awful to look at. And the movie isn't funny. Trying to be like a comedy. Didn't make me laugh once. I felt it was more of a drama to me, because it fucking almost made me cry, because, the great director Wes Craven is directing shit like this. Then I realized, okay, he's starting to really go down on a slide again. And I was right, because after Cursed, I don't think he did very much. Like, I think he did Scream 3, or maybe that was before. I'm not super familiar with Wes Craven's later work after Scream, because the majority of it sucked ass. So anyway, yeah, Cursed I didn't like. I know there's some people out there who like it. That's cool. To each their own. I thought it was a fucking mess. It was a mess in your pants. Anyway, another one I can think of, a werewolf movie. Ginger Snaps 2, Unleashed. I thought it was a fucking letdown. I thought the ending was shit. It was a shitty way to end the character arc of Bridget. Being the fucking pet of some psychopathic little bitch girl was not what I wanted to see. Also, it didn't really have a lot. It wasn't really. Without the dynamic with Ginger and Bridget, that was sorely lacking. I mean, I'm not saying that Bridget was bad. The actress did a good job. I'm just saying, as soon as she got out of the asylum or the rehab center, it really kind of started to fall apart for me. And Ghost, and more Ghost. And did I mention I hate fucking the character of Ghost? Ghost can suck it. So anyway, yeah, I don't care for Ginger Snaps 2 Unleashed. I think it's incredibly overrated. I think the prequel was a lot better. It was a lot more entertaining. It had more werewolves. It had Bridget and Ginger actually together again, and I thought an interesting sort of way with a prequel. And had supporting cast members I actually gave a shit about. Not Mr. Dumbfuck over here who sells drugs for sex. So anyway, yeah, not a big fan of Ginger Snaps 2 Unleashed. I think it's incredibly overrated, and I think I was actually pretty kind on it in my reviews, / rant. Now, when I look back at it, I'm just going to call it like it is. I just think it's a fucking piece of shit. It's a shitty sequel, and it's an incredibly, overrated sequel in my opinion. So that's just my opinion, though.